Good evening, my beautiful people. Welcome to the 10th edition or episode of this podcast, Unscripted. It has been a hectic day for everyone. You know, today is a working day, and I know you are tired, but I believe by now you are relaxing because today's case will be a very, very serious one. Today we have the state government in the studio. Yes, we have the governor himself in the studio. I know you would like to hear from him, right? Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. Before we continue, I want you to share the Facebook link of Rally TV to your friends and even your enemies, as usual. Yes, we prefer to even have your enemies online. Okay? Don't forget also to share the Gazette News Nigeria, because that's where we give you the latest updates. There's an update that just came in 30 minutes ago from through a press release coming from the same governor. Today we are going to ask questions. And I know you have been waiting for this day. So kindly relax, enjoy, and share our views. Please kindly fill our comment section with your questions. But please give us reasonable questions. Yes, because today, you know, is the government. So you're going to take things more serious. Before I go further, today, let me introduce our guest. Our guest is a youth. Yes, our governor is a youth, right? Our guest is a youth. And he is a barrister by profession. At the same time, he is the mouthpiece of the Adamawa state government. Which is the governor? Yes, the mouthpiece is also the governor. He is no one but barrister leader Leneke. Barrister, you're welcome.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you.
Now
so
I'm
much.
even confused. I don't know which one to call now. Honorable Commissioner, you're welcome.
Thank you, Mike. It's an honor to be with you on the program.
Nice having you, actually.
Thank
you.
you.
It's been long. We saw somebody on screen like this.
Oh, well, I'm honored. I'm grateful. Thank you.
Let's start
Yes.
softly. Let's start softly.
No.
How? What has been your experience within this first month in office?
Okay. It's been kind of nice. It's been kind of really different from what I am used to. My usual day-to-day, what I'm used to, activities and all that. For a while, being a lawyer, life has generally been about the courts, about processes, legal processes, filing, going to court, and all that. And then lately, politics took a better chunk of that time of mine. So I'd also always been around the corridors of politics, corridors of government, running errands and doing the things I do. But this time around, it's a much higher responsibility. It's a much higher calling, so to say, that places a lot of burden on you. Burden not only because the work or the job is difficult, but because you know you hold a lot in the sense that so much depends on you. You rightly introduced as saying the spokesperson, the mouthpiece of government. Before now, I could be careless, I could be carefree, I could just do my own thing and catch my phone, you know. But now every single statement I make, I have to also calculate and be careful that it could be misinterpreted or it could be subject to interpretation and all that. That's why you will find out even my activities on social media is now measured. It's now very, very limited. I have to be careful because I'm no longer my own person. I'm not just a person of myself. I represent the entire state, the government of the state, and you must also remember that means the entire state, because government is the people,
Exactly.
and I represent the people. So whatever I do and say, I have to. So that puts a lot of challenge in that direction. But overall, the new role has been nice. It's been humbling. It's been a great honor to be in this office. Yes.
Interestingly, but you forgot the other part.
Yes, sir.
As an entertainer.
Oh, well, that's true. Again, as an entertainer, you know, it also comes with a lot of challenge in that direction too, because now a lot of the people in that constituency, let me put it that way,
It's
in that jurisdiction.
It's no constituency is okay.
Yes, sir.
And they have a large number.
Very large. Their hopes, aspirations, dreams are all now on you. Their expectations, they expect the space is now going to be opened for them a little more. It's going to be more accommodating to them, more exciting and more entertaining. And I take that too very seriously. I'm not saying I should, or the expectations should not be there. I expect them to expect, but we are also doing our best. I can assure them we'll do our best. The time is short, but notwithstanding, we'll do within the limited or the remaining term of this government, of this administration constitutionally, whatever it is that is remaining, we'll do our best to make sure we deliver on whatever there is we've promised as a government, and that which we can do humanly possible and governmentally possible within the limited resources of government also, because you must understand all of these things come as partly due to availability of resources. And like we all know, human needs and wants are unlimited, but resources are limited. So, but within the limited resources, I'm sure government will do its best. I promise to be the ambassador, to continue to be the ambassador in pushing as much as I can. And let's see how far we go from here.
So, dear entertainers, you can hear in our own constituency now we have a member representing us.
Yes, sir.
All right. Commissioner, when you were confirmed as the Commissioner of Information and Strategy in Adamawa State, during your first meeting, we used to see this press release coming every day that the governor have approved so billions during executive meeting.
Yes, sir.
What do you think, as a member of the Executive Council and also as the Commissioner, what do you think will surprise people when it comes to decision making that comes out from that government house to the public?
Okay, well, decision making is the role of the Executive Council. That is the role the Executive Council is saddled with, to take decisions on behalf of the good people of Adamawa State, even though the Executive Council appointed by the governor as per appointees of the governor, but they together form the Executive Council, and there are approvals, decisions that cannot be made by one person. As per the way government is tailored, as per the way government is made, one person cannot make that decision. So it is expected to be tabled before the Executive Council, and then the Executive Council together should unanimously take this decision. I can assure you, my experience on the council has been very interesting. I didn't know that it was that way also. The very day I was sworn in as commissioner, coincidentally, it was a Wednesday and there was going to be Executive Council. So the moment I was sworn in, I was asked to sit down, and the council started meeting with me. It was at a certain point, the governor now said, okay, I know your family and supporters are outside, so I give you 7 minutes. Those were exactly his words. I give you 7 minutes, go out, snap a picture, do a picture with them, because they might need to just go back. You'll be here for a while,
Yes.
So I stepped out, had that picture with them, and got back into the meeting. And after the meeting, that was my first baptism of fire. That was my first assignment. The governor announced, the Honorable Commissioner Information will brief the press about what transpired in the Executive Council meeting. Now, that was where I got caught. Perhaps those days when other people used to brief the press, I never took my time to pay attention and to understand what does it mean to brief the press on the decisions, approvals reached or arrived at council. So on that day, I ran quickly to the chief of staff and I said, sir, the governor has asked me to brief the press. What does it take? How is it done? And all of that, he laughed. Well, he told me a few things and said, you are able to do it. Just go ahead. Go ahead and see whatever you do. And I went, and I hoped I delivered on that day. And since then, it's been so far so good. But The council is a very, very serious-minded council. Arguments go on in council. Memos don't just come and pass. Memos are scrutinized. In fact, they are scrutinized word by word, line upon line. That is how council scrutinize its memos. If it is figures, figures are seriously considered and examined before approval is given. So when people hear the council has given approval, that's why you go into council meeting that starts probably at 10 or 11 o'clock and you've not closed until 4 o'clock. You wonder what are they doing. You would think they're just there taking tea, and maybe that was the mindset.
And chicken.
And chicken, that was the mentality I used to have. But it's serious discussions, serious debating, sometimes serious arguments. In fact, sometimes some of the memos could be debated upon to the point that the man who is sponsoring the memo, the ministry that is sponsoring the memo, will be asked to step the memo down for the meantime, withdraw the memo and do some additional work on it, because the council looks at the interest of the state and its people. It's not just about a yes sir kind of council. So that's just the responsibility.
It says the council is interested in the interest of the people.
That's true.
I'll keep that for now.
All
Later,
right.
I'll bring it back. If I were to bring 10 local people here, ordinary people, into the studio, what would you say is the single biggest misconception that people have about the administration of Governor Ahmadu Morufintri?
Oh, well, people have a lot of misconceptions that I can tell you about Ahmadu Morufintri, but sometimes I think the biggest, in my own thinking, if you bring local people, at the moment, I think the biggest misconception that people have had is with the recent primary elections. Primary elections of the party that came. So many people bought nomination forms, paid for nomination forms. As you may be aware, I paid for nomination form. Eventually, I was negotiated with. I am trying to find the right word to actually capture that. And I was asked, His Excellency would like to have me on his executive council. And I tried to argue it, but eventually I said, well, in politics, one of the words you must learn, the most important word, in fact, that you must learn in politics is loyalty. So when your boss asks you to do a thing, you're loyal. So I went back and I said to the man that had been asked to come speak with me, I say, I am loyal. And whatever His Excellency will want of me, I have accepted it in full confidence and in full faith. And not even because he's offering anything at all, but that he is my political boss, political mentor, and all that. Whatever he asks, I will do it. Now, eventually, primaries came and they went. People who won, and a whole lot of people lost out of the primaries. And then all hell broke loose. All hell broke loose on our state and on His Excellency. And they were everywhere, every here and there, people talking about why they lost the election. And why they lost was all on the table of His Excellency, the governor. They felt the governor had his own preferred candidate, even when they truly know from the depths of their heart that that was not true, that that was not right. I challenged one of them, being a friend of mine. I called him up on phone and I said to him, you know you're my friend, right? Yes. And you know I'm the Honorable Commissioner, Information and Strategy now. Good. And you know that there are things you say that would just be like you're inviting me, calling me out into the arena to join issues with you, because it is my assignment to defend the government and the administration, not particularly the governor as a person. The governor as a person have his chief press secretary whose responsibility it is to defend him, but I must defend the actions of this government. Where necessary, I will have to explain where explanation needs to be done, convince people, make people understand understand, create the necessary enlightenment and whatever else there is, So I said to him, but do you truly from your heart of hearts believe that the governor was the one who denied you ticket? I give you an example. There is a particular federal constituency where 29 people took up forms for one position. 29 people had purchased nomination forms, and only one person can win. The rest of the 28 will now blame the governor and say the governor hates all of them 28, and that's why they failed. But I know people being who they are, human beings, we being who we are, will always find a place to ventilate, someone to put the blame on his post, on his doors, and all of that.
But do you think they're actually complaining because they didn't win, or because there's injustice in the process?
No. I don't think it's about injustice. I think it's simply because they didn't win. Because at the end of the day, this particular story I'm telling you, this particular gentleman friend of mine, when we were done, he actually just said to me, well, the governor is the leader, and therefore as a leader he must take all the blame. Not necessarily because he was responsible directly, which I have tried to explain to him and to challenge him to provide if there's any evidence, and he could not, and he didn't agree and say, well, the governor is the leader, and therefore as the leader he must do everything across the 21 local government areas. So what I am saying is, I think it's not a function of necessarily thinking injustice was done to them, but people being who we are, we just hate losing. We hate losing. But like we continue to say, politics is a game. And in every game, there must be a loser and there must be a winner. That's why even if you come out draw, in football, for example, they'll ask you must play penalty kicks. And you must continue until there's a winner. So there's always going to be a winner.
But what if the referee is on the other side?
Bias. Oh, well, the referee can be biased. I'm not also taking that away. In this instance, the referee was not the governor. You must remember that committees came from the national level of the party to conduct this process. I don't believe the governor would have single-handedly called each one of them and instructed them on what to do. Of course, the party at the state level had its own interest. The governor, as a leader of the party, also know what is good for the party, what will be good for the party. But I don't believe that the governor hates any member of the party in particular, or the governor will walk against any member of the party directly in particular because he doesn't like him or hates him and all that. I don't believe that.
Let's bring it down to the chairmanship election that was held last Saturday.
Oh, yes.
You were talking about the irregularities and other things. How
That's
come PDP won all the seats?
That's easy. I can explain that.
Despite the governor being a member of the APC.
Yes.
With all the stakeholders they have been boosting off. All the language of the boosting. Yes, we have this, we have that, we have this. Then how come? Don't you think there are things that are hidden that the Adamawa citizens are yet to know?
All right, let me take a little time to explain. Firstly, up until very much recently, this was a PDP state. What it then means is, and for a very long time, it has been a very, very PDP supportive state.
Exactly.
What it means is that the psyche of the people has always been PDP. The support of the PDP people have continued to be PDP. This is the first time we're really putting APC as the ruling party to test in an election. So that is number one. Number two, you must also agree and accept that when elections are going to come, communities, local governments present some of their best candidates for election. And because it was a PDP state at the time, most of the people who came out to contest under the flag and the platform of the PDP were probably by far some of the best candidates you could find across these local government areas. In fact, those who picked up nomination forms in other parties were just people who, to fulfill all righteousness, let's just go pick up forms. I'll get to that, Mike. I'll get
because
to that.
I don't understand. I cannot go and buy a form when I'm not ready for it.
No. Because these forms, for example, in the PDP, the forms sold for 10 million naira. at the time.
House of Assembly.
Yes.
Chairmanship.
Yes.
But
Other parties, I'll take you there.
Yeah.
Other parties sold their form for 500,000. So there were people who, there's this thing we do sometimes as politicians. Let me start my politics. Let me start advertising myself, selling myself, getting to be known, and all of that. So you could find that the disparity between the PDP aspirants and that of the aspirants of the other parties were quite very large. I'm not conclusive on that yet. Now, it came to the point when we switched by virtue of what we felt this governor, and the entire government felt will be the right thing to do. Let us fall in, based also on the manifold crisis that was bedeviling the PDP, that continued to wear the PDP out without a solution in sight. We decided it is even better, let us just team up and join the party at the national level, for the good of the state, for the good of its people, and for several other advantages it gives. This governor is finishing his term, he's finishing his tenure, he's leaving. So the interest is not much about him as it is about the people. So we moved to the APC. But of course, the candidates of the PDP who had emerged still remained in the PDP and did not move to the APC.
Why? And you talk about loyalty. Why do you think they stayed in PDP?
Loyalty is a personal understanding.
So do you mean to tell me that
when we moved to the PDP, there were a lot of people who refused. I mean, the APC, there were a lot of people who refused, but not necessarily out of disloyalty. There were some of them who felt there's still light at the end of the tunnel. The PDP was going to get through with its challenges. The PDP was going to pull through, was going to weather the storm. Things were going to get better. And we thought, we still think that the PDP is still in a very bad shape and situation. But let me tell you another thing that helped them. When the period for the elections were approaching and campaigns started, for some reason, the PDP doubled up. Maybe knowing now that they're in the opposition and not the ruling party. They did a great job, and I'm sure you can attest to that. They went around campaigning like what we used to do when we were in the PDP also. Local government by local government. The candidates of the PDP for the governorship and all other elective offices gathered their people, their support, and they campaigned local government by local government. In some instances, they even went to ward levels. But the APC, perhaps because we're still doing a mop-up process, a house cleaning process, were unable to do that kind of campaign. So they had still endeared themselves to the people.
I am still not convinced with this.
No.
Why I'm saying this is,
okay.
During the primaries for the APC,
Yes.
the entire primaries,
Yes.
you have done a lot of campaign. You have done a lot of campaign for candidates to emerge.
Which of the primaries now?
From the Senate,
Oh, the
House of Representatives,
the primaries for
House of Assembly.
Yes.
Which means you have been to the roots.
No, those campaigns were done by individuals. The party does not itself campaign for primary election. It is the individuals that are supposed to campaign. Now that we have our candidates, before now they were aspirants under the party. So everybody will go to canvass for votes. So will go to canvass for support.
Okay, let me fall before you continue.
Our candidates, they are now properties of the party, and the party will campaign for them.
Barrister,
Yes.
stop using the low terms on me.
Okay.
What I'm saying is,
Yes.
these candidates, they were aspirants, right? Which
Yes.
means they have campaigned within their locality.
Yes, they have.
Under APC.
That's true.
You get my point?
Their
Which means they have
campaign was
reached different
for-
cronies.
Their campaign was for themselves and not for local government chairman.
I understand.
Candidates. Yes.
Now you have pushed for registration of membership in APC,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And which means, and they said Adamawa has the highest registered
true.
members.
That's true.
That is what they said.
That's true.
Now, despite all these numbers, you want to tell me how come did PDP came and
again,
outshine
yes.
APC from every council?
No, did not outshine. PDP had always shined before now. PDP had always been the party.
So are you predicting that now in 2027
Yes.
there's high possibility that APC might not scale through?
No, that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. As far as Adamawa State is concerned, PDP had been the dominant party. It's been the household name in our politics in Adamawa until just a few months ago. That's what I'm telling you. And then what I'm saying also is that the APC, for some reasons, in fact, I have reasons, I have information, even though unverified, that it went to the point that the APC as a party had actually, our party, had actually asked its candidates in the election to even withdraw, that the APC was not going into the election. So that's part of the reason why the APC did not even push for any of this. But well, some still went, some still. That's why you will find even the APC candidates are congratulating the PDP candidates. They knew that the process was free and fair, even though you could say there was voter apathy. A lot of people didn't turn out as what we see during national elections and all of that, which is also often characteristics of local government, local council election. You'll find the voter apathy, the interest is not as high as when it is national elections. So, but with that, I mean, so far so good. I'm sure you've not been hearing too much rancor and question on
the communities are somehow on a low tone now.
Yes.
Nobody is talking about the outcome. Nobody, and we are even concerned because we didn't see the actions, which means, is it that the whole community agreed that PDP should be in charge, or what? Let's talk about PDP.
All right.
The executive governor migrated to APC.
Yeah.
On the terms of the party is not stable, which means the PDP is not stable. Don't you predict any shift from the PDP to APC within these 21 local governments? I mean, for the chairman, looking at now, I'm just saying because
the shifting.
Yes, the chairman shifting because there's high possibility.
Yeah,
there's high possibility based on what people are even saying on the street. There's high possibility that they allow them to win the election because they'll be migrating back to the APC.
Well, that will be people's assumption, and people have a right to assume. People have a right to their thoughts. They have a right to, in fact, right of expression. It's constitutionally guaranteed, so they can do that. But the facts is what we should be looking at, and the facts speak for itself. For now, the APC have lost elections across the local government, the 21 local government areas of the state, and we have accepted the outcome. We've congratulated those who won. They are in the PDP. What may happen or may not happen is something I do not want to preempt. I'm not in the position to preempt them. I've not had any such meeting with them about them moving.
Now you have turned to real honorable now. You're playing the politics very well. No, but actually, this is what is happening on the street. This is what people are saying. But there's high possibility of migrating. Reason why is during the APC internal elections, there has been rantings online. We don't agree. This is theft. We don't want this person, but he was imposed on us. Imposition terminologies has been viral. But this time around, everybody was mute. And even APC are busy congratulating. It's more like there's something fishy.
No, something good. Everything went well and everybody could see it. It was clear. It was crystal clear. And everybody agrees with it that there are no shadows, there are no dark corners to it. And because it is clear, we'll accept it. And for those who have complained about losing election, whether there were preferred candidates that were anointed. Now, again, let me just emphasize this, Mike. By the 2026 Electoral Act as amended, two possibilities or two processes, two ways through which candidates can emerge. And it is said either through direct primaries or through consensus. And if probably in other places consensus was adopted as the process, consensus will have to be between the stakeholders, major stakeholders of the party. And if they agree and somebody feels that did not sit well with him, well, he has a right to ventilate, and that is why we always say the courts are also there for people to go. That is the arbiter, the last arbiter of the common man, of the masses. You can come, and there are people who have gone to court to challenge whatever the process is. And I think that is the right thing to do, the right way to go, rather than heat up the polity by all kinds of live videos on social media by all kinds of accusations, assumptions, and all that. The people began to spray rumor, propaganda. The people began to
But do you
spray.
really believe all this propaganda?
No, they are, Mike. In every contest, there must be a winner and there must
Yes,
be a loser.
but the problem now is during the election,
Those same
there
people,
were
if they had
videos.
won,
There were videos going around on
what
the
did
social
the
media
videos say? What did
of the
videos say?
irregularities that are going on.
What were the irregularities?
I
The
was
people lying?
watching one that people are counting. They will count you 1, 2, 3. You will go
Yes.
through the back again, still come back during the
No,
line.
some of those things are dramas. Some of those things are not even within Adamawa State.
Well,
some of those things are in other places.
this
that
is
were
serious.
Not, yes. Some of those things were not for real. Mike, I was there. I was in my own local government. I participated in direct primaries. My local government was direct. That's why there's not been any complaint from my local government on who won and who lost and all of that. Everybody accepted it because you had your agent. I know there are some places probably, but then who do you blame? Is it you who didn't send your agent, or your agent who didn't do his work and all of that? But if there are people who have genuine complaints, and that's what I'm telling you, I am not saying totally, completely, there will not be genuine complaints. I'm not saying politics is not, even in church people complain, even in the mosques people complain, not to talk about politics. So there will be people who will be disgruntled, who will be dissatisfied with, but there is a proper means and way of ventilating your anger and not heating up the polity. By the time you heat up the polity with your false narrative, your propaganda and all of that, it does nobody good, not even yourself and not us. I mean the government, that's what I mean now. It does nobody good. Remember, politics is continuing. You might come back tomorrow again. So be careful. The bridges you're trying to burn now, you might need them to cross over the next time you're coming back again.
Before I get back to you,
Yes.
I want to communicate with my people because I'm not alone. I have thousands
All right.
and millions of people from the globe, entire globe.
Yes, sir.
Guys, please don't forget to share the Rally TV page. Follow, like, share, and comment. Make your comments. Send your questions. While doing that, I will still get back to Barrister, who is currently the Honorable Commissioner for Information and Strategy in Adamawa State. Barrister, you know, the social media has become a battleground now between citizen and the government.
Yes, sir.
Does your government genuinely listen to criticism, or they are busy celebrating praises?
Oh, wow. I'll tell you for free that His Excellency, the Governor of Adamawa State, the Right Honorable Ahmadu Umaru Fintri, is a social media savvy person. Somebody who follows the social media very, very well. Sometimes I even wonder how he gets to have that time. He follow people's comments. I have had personal discussions with him on commentary made by people on social media, and he has asked questions because, tell you the truth, there are some of these things people raise, and that's why you cannot take the place of social media anymore. The social media has come to stay. It is a part of us. It is now part of our culture. It is part of our media space generally, part of our communication system. And we like it because sometimes it draws the attention of government to areas and things government may not necessarily be aware of. Do not assume the government knows everything, or the governor as a person knows every single thing, because there are certain things that he must be briefed about. As much as the Right Honorable Ahmadu Umaru Fintri as a governor is a very, very knowledgeable person, very vast in understanding almost everything that goes on in this state and around the state, but there are issues that he also sees on social media, and tell you the truth, when he sees them, he gets concerned about them. There are a lot of things that have been done today because they were on Facebook, because they were on TikTok, because they were on, either X and all of that, that government saw, or the governor, should I say, saw it and felt there's a need to reply, to answer, to solve that problem which has been raised by people. So let me say, social media is welcomed. We don't have a problem with social media. It's given citizens an avenue to ventilate, to be able to speak out. It's become a medium where everybody probably have access to be able to ventilate and speak, and that is good. Freedom of speech, like I say again, is constitutionally guaranteed. Citizens should be able to speak. You cannot muzzle them, and we're glad citizens are speaking, and government is also listening, and I can assure you government is also responding. That is why this is one of the most responsive governments to have ever been witnessed in the history of the state. And I say this with a sense of responsibility, with all responsibility. I've been around for a little while. I can tell you that I have seen the government of Abakar Barde. So from Abakar Barde, those who know Abakar Barde to now, I've seen the governments, all right? And I can tell you that of all the governments, you give credit to Abakar Barde, you will give credit to Jonah David Jang as a military governor during his time in terms of developmental strides. But all of them put together, all the governors, nobody has done what Fintri has done in his single term of 7 years now, because we've not even hit the 8th year. And this is going to be another year of work, I can assure you.
Okay, now you just said that the government listens to criticism.
Yes.
This brings me to the current press release has been released, essentially. Now, within last year and this year, there have been several demolitions, revoking of lands, and so many other things. What can you say about these 3 specific places I'm going to list out? First, the suggestion, the criticism that went ahead based on the development that the Governor Fintri brought in State Secretariat for creating the International Conference Center within the State Secretariat space. People were saying that since he wanted to really expand and make Adamawa to look great, why didn't he shift that project to a place like Malkohi? If he's talking about securities, there are soldiers there. Why can't they deploy police posts in all these locations? That is one. Second of all is the hospital. That is currently under construction around that state locus area. The former place called Forest, right? So many shops were destroyed in that place, were demolished.
That's right.
They were demolished in that space. And people till now have been receiving questions that why don't we talk about issues like this? Why don't we talk about things like this? Is there any plan for compensation?
Okay.
Or the government just gave them a deaf ear?
Okay.
That's another thing. Now, coming back, and the recent one now, which is the latest press release that I just got maybe an hour ago, saying that all houses within the stadium area should be all demolished. And these people have even came to the government house and cried. I saw old people, I saw young people, even children came and cried in front of the government house gate. So I don't understand, sir.
All right, give me time to answer these questions. And Mike, I will answer this question with full, total sense of responsibility and respect to all the people that are affected by this. I am going to answer it not as a politician, but as somebody who has a sense of empathy, empathizes with people and what has befallen them. But then I'll also put the facts straight so that the public knows and the public understands. And before I answer, let me start with the demolition, that's taking place. Before I come to the hospital project that's going on around state locals, I come to
International Conference
Center and all of that. Let me start with the one that affects the people and their homes, families directly, with a sense of responsibility also. I will start with an example. During the Boni Haruna administration, and I was old enough. In fact, Boni Haruna wanted to give me an appointment that I turned down. So to tell you that I knew everything that took place during the Boni Haruna administration. When Boni Haruna was becoming governor, I was graduating university. So you understand, 1999. So Boni Haruna found out there's a new developing place. His Excellency now thought people had distorted, was told people had distorted the original plan for Sabon Pegi in Yola town around Shagari and all of that. And as difficult, because most of the people around there at a point where people who were retiring, and out of their retirement
Small
benefits, they could afford to buy a small piece of land, build there. And then people who were selling these lands had distorted the plan and are sold indiscriminately. And people were warned, don't buy land along this path, along these areas, because some of them are waterways, some of them are, and people being who they are stubbornly still bought. One day, the governor approved for demolition of houses that were against the master plan of that area, or the plan of the urban and regional planning, especially those that affected the waterways. And a lot of demolition was done. There was a lot of complaint, a lot of outcry, uproar, and all of that against the government. That demolition eventually gave place when the Nyako government came to construct the roads around Shagari. They were able to construct the major drainages, the big drainages that carried a lot of water around that area. But you and I were still here last year when you saw what floods ravaged that area. Just come to think of it, if that demolition was not done, government had not even created those drainages, would have been probably worse and more devastating than that. So if you look at certain things that government does, and this is not just Boni Haruna example, I can also tell you, I was old enough in the early 1980s during the military when Yola was majorly Nasarawo areas, Demsawo, Shinko areas, Dobeli, and all of that. And how during Jang, whenever it rains in Yola, Yola becomes flooded, and for hours rain waters were just all over our roads until, except for a few places that were a little bit up, until after a while the waters would drain gradually. There were demolitions, so we can open up waterways so that rainwater can be able to pass freely. And that's why today Nasarawa, Demsawo, Dobeli areas, Shinko are now very good places to live in, even during the rains and all of that. So this time around, it is not about the rains, it is about the stadium. And that land itself generally had been reserved for government development in terms of sporting facilities. The stadium is not just about stadium one, it's a sporting complex that has everything from swimming pools, handball courts, badminton courts, table tennis, basketball courts, and all that, to football, to the main stadium and all that. People now began to encroach into that land. Over the years, they were warned. I'll tell you for free, Mike, none of those people have a certificate of occupancy, except for two people. In fact, the two people fraudulently, and I can tell you this with my full chest, acquired their certificate of occupancy just only recently. One of them was only about 7 months ago that he got, because he rushed in an attempt to, because he knew, even when he knew demolition was going to come, he began to construct very speedily and then went and sought for certificate of occupancy. Now, these certificates come in a bulk. Sometimes you probably are unable to determine each one, where the location and all of that, and where approved and all of that. These people had been warned. They have been told this is land for the sporting complex, and they refused, bought lands from Meangwa, from fraudulent people and today they are reaping the consequence of their stubbornness, the consequence largely of their refusal to do the right things and all of that. The sporting complex is a masterpiece. It's a monument. It's something that is for the general good of the state. Sporting development that will host sports activities for not just the state, but in fact for the nation. We should be able to host the sports festival. And that is what the sports complex is going to do. There should be swimming pools and all of that, training grounds and all of that. The governor had no choice but to do that. There is what is called in law overriding public interest. When public interest overrides personal interest of a few individuals, we cannot be at the mercy of a few individuals. And I say this again with a sense of responsibility. The entire state, the entire community cannot be at the mercy of a few individuals. I have friends there whose houses, I was at the place together with the governor today, and I have friends who are affected through this. But you cannot mortgage the future development. You know what sports is today, and how sports is a big earner in terms of economy, in terms of whatever. And for our young people, you can't just mortgage it because a few people have decided to be out of line and out of order and put their houses in those places. I sympathize with them. It's sad, but that is the situation that we found ourselves, and that is why the governor has asked that those houses be demolished. But I can assure you that this governor is a listening governor, a responsible governor, who will be very willing to pay compensation, because people who acquire these lands legally, rightly, will be compensated rightfully also. This is it. But the 1978 Land Use Act gives all land to the governor. And it states also that government can withdraw even if you have the right certificate. The certificate of occupancy, even if you have it, the governor can decide to withdraw it for what is called overriding public interest. Now, that is where the state locus project also come into question. The project at the state locus is partly by donor agencies and organizations, and they have their terms. They have certain requirements. The kind of hospital they want to build must be within city center. I can assure you the governor had offered them places like the Malkoi that you're talking about, where they can give them as much land as they want. They said no, it has to be within the square meter, within the radius where it is easily accessible. And when government looked at every other place else, this was the most suitable place, the only place government could put, because we had a lot of space that belonged to government. And let me also assure you that a lot of the people who built what they built around that place that were demolished that you're complaining about, with all due respect to them also, there were some of them that do not have the right certificate. Government did not now, give them those lands.
Talking about this certificate, because based on what I got from the, my people,
yes,
they said some of them had certificate from urban planning. Is close to them.
Okay.
Urban planning is close to them.
Okay.
Why is it that when they were trying to do these constructions, the urban planning didn't cancel them at all?
Okay.
They didn't give them the X that we used to see on walls.
Yes. Okay.
So what's really happening?
Okay, let me explain to you. The urban planning, fortunately you mentioned that the urban planning does not give certificate of occupancy, unfortunately. Certificate of occupancy comes only from the governor. It is processed by the Ministry of Land and Survey, sent to the governor. The governor is the only man empowered. He's the only one with the power to sign and give you a certificate of occupancy. Some of them have all kinds of title documents. Me Angwa title document. You know, that land is a city center land. So a Me Angwa cannot give you. Me Angwas are allowed to give you land in rural areas. Some of them have a right of occupancy, RFO, which is given by the Ministry of Land and Survey also. But the highest document is the certificate of occupancy. The role of the urban planning is to regulate. For example, to make sure you are in line with construction regulations. If you're going to construct a wall, you're going to construct fence, that is where the urban planning comes in. So, but not,
so don't you think now, since their own is to regulate, by Xing all the buildings that are not in line with the state design or the master plan, don't you think they would have stopped them at early stage so that they wouldn't even waste their resources?
No, don't misunderstand me. I didn't say the buildings were not in line with the master design. Okay, I'm only saying the buildings that were built, you know, they were around the forestry. The forestry belongs to the government.
Yes.
And I do not know some of them who gave them the title documents that gave them title to the land.
To the lands.
Where they built. Now, they did not get out of line. No, they did not. They built according to the right building permits and all of that they were supposed to build.
So the only thing is
the
that
only thing is that some of
their
them
documents,
had faulty documents. But secondly, overriding public interest, even if their documents were right, for the general good of the public, government have the right to revoke all those lands and even the titles. Their only recourse is to compensation.
Okay.
They can be compensated.
Before I go to my Facebook community, there are so many questions there on my Facebook community.
Okay.
I would like to ask you, Honorable, your organization,
Yes.
or let me say your ministry, is in charge of orientation. And these people that you are talking about are mostly people from remote communities that were pursued by the activities of the insurgents. That is why they said, okay, since we have our small chicken change in the bank, let's try and see if you can buy a land. Now, because of lack of orientation, these people are not that much educated as you think, as you might think. They are not that educated. They came to the Maangwas, and Maangwas offered them, if you are to take legal actions, the Maangwas have to be taken into consideration.
Yes, sir.
You get it? Now, the issue that in that land, because I am now in a mess, and I want to save myself.
That's right.
Within that limited time that I have. So why can't I, if I pay for that land, start constructing, and nobody came to even say one or two things to me?
That's right.
On a normal ground, if I start building, the ministry in charge of this building and all this surveying and all this now, supposed to have come and check the space. No, this structure is not over here. Who gave you this structure? If you said me Angwa, now this one is not government plan.
Okay. Mike, let me answer that. Let me answer that quickly. The current demolition that is taking place around the stadium, the warning was made since 2014. It's not like it's something that just happened yesterday. Now, even before 2014, those who were not supposed to be there were told, this land, whoever is selling it to you is just fraud.
But
this land belongs to government.
My question is, who told them?
Stubbornly. No, the urban and regional planning do their work. They are always doing their work. They are always putting mark. I am sure you have seen where they have marked
severally,
and yet people continued their project. That was exactly the situation that was happening. This current situation since 2014, some of them were told, but they kept building with the understanding that it will get to the point government will have no choice but leave us. But then let me also say this. His Excellency, in his benevolence, has decided, and that narrative about insurgency, insurgency displaced people,
retired people
around the place, that's not true.
No,
I don't want to go on naming names, but if I tell you the names of the people that are there, their positions in life, in government, and all of that, some of them who have built. In fact,
but some of them are just retired.
Let me tell you the truth. Some of them are big people who have built, I told you, my friends are involved, who have built houses for rent around that place. It's not even, it is people, some of them even in government, let me tell you the truth, even in government, who have built houses for rentage. So now the people who are suffering are the tenants, let me put it that way, because they have to be displayed to find somewhere. But I will say also that His Excellency right today, in his benevolence, has decided that whoever among those people that want a land, there will be a new allocation by government. Government will give them new allocation along other areas. I'm sure one of the areas is along the Malkoy zone, where the town is now opening because of the chalk nature. And that brings me to one of the questions I didn't answer about the International Conference Center. In fairness to the governor, Malkoy, the housing estate, the road project alone is good enough to open up that area. The International Conference Center did not have to go there for it to open that area. Remember, the State Secretariat have a lot of space. Why should we just leave this bush? When Governor Murtala Nyako came into power, the federal Court of Appeal, the Court of Appeal wanted space for Court of Appeal. What happened? There was so much space in the State Secretariat. Why should we just leave it to bushes and we have to do a lot to keep controlling and keep cutting bushes? Nyako gave them this side for the Court of Appeal. And this time around, government wants to build the International Conference Center. Do you know what the International Conference Center is all about? It's not just about one big giant hall. It's about different kinds of other adjoining halls that will hold all kinds of government meetings, all kinds of government conferences, all kinds of government seminars, all kinds of government activities. That is why the bulk of government and governance take place within the secretariat, within the town. So it's also for ease of access, ease of movement, ease of getting to this place. And that's why we're using that. It did not obstruct anything, did not take anything away, in fact did not demolish anything in that place. The building that was close to that place that was housing the Bureau for Public Procurement, of course the Bureau for Public Procurement were already constructing their main office before this time. So that project did not obstruct or demolish or cancel anything at all. And you give the governor credit for what he is doing with the Malkoy, opening up an entire new part of the city. The road project alone is monumental, is massive. And then, of course, the 1,000 housing unit that is there. That's why everybody's attention is now going to Malkoy. Even me, I'm going to that area.
Okay. Are you aware of the allegation?
Yes.
That so many lands were revoked in the name of the governor? And for now, no specified works or no specified projects are being allocated to those.
Revoked in the name of the governor. I need to understand that question very well. Like somebody else revoked it and claimed it is the governor.
Some lands that have been allocated to people,
Yes,
more
sir.
especially people within the real estate business.
Okay.
Yes, while selling to clients, there have been complaints that this land have been revoked from them, that they will be allocated to a new land, that the governor will use it for something that will benefit the people.
Okay.
So
I understand the question. I celebrate the people in the real estate industry in the state. They're doing a massive, beautiful job. They're opening, making housing easy, land acquisition easy for a lot of people, and I doff my heart for them. I have a lot of friends in that industry, a lot of friends within that industry. But truth be told, again, some of those lands belong to Me Anguas again. And there are those that belong to the state government. There are parts that Me Anguas have laid claim to even when it is not their land. And sometimes the gentlemen who are involved in real estate and all of that will come, acquire a land without following up and doing what we call your due diligence, proper due diligence. You need to go to the Ministry of Land and survey, search, conduct your search very well. Let the files for this land be found, and you'll be told who really owns this land. I've had, as a lawyer before now, I've had reasons to settle, to have cases to do with some of the land around Malkoy and all of that. But no, honestly, I do not think the governor needs to tell anybody to revoke any land on his behalf in the name of the governor or for the governor as a person. I hope they are not.
No, not as a person.
Okay,
For the government.
But as the governor, all land in urban areas are domiciled in the governor. Let me tell you, they are not even domiciled in the government. All land in the urban areas, by the law of Nigeria, the 1978 Land Use Act, are in the hands of the governor. The governor owns every land in urban areas. So if he wants to revoke it, he can just say, I'm withdrawing approval, or I'm revoking this land and all. He doesn't even need to tell anybody. So I know there are a lot of fraud people going out there and doing all kinds of things also. And I'm not arguing that. Even within the Ministry of Lands and Survey, there are land officers of government who are doing a lot of shoddy deals. Before now, I'm a lawyer, so before that I've had a lot of cases that have defraud other people, intimidate other people and doing that. But then that is a general reflection of the society in which we live. People take advantage of other people unduly. People take advantage of other people's ignorance. People take advantage of other people's weakness, which is sad, which is unfortunate, because you feel you're stronger, you have some power in government, in governance, or whatever some say, and all of that. You now try to overpower other people, innocent people, some of them unlettered people who don't even know documents and can't interpret. People make fake documents to intimidate people. People pay security agencies to help them intimidate other people, unfortunately. But as much as these issues and cases get to government, I can assure you government will address them, take them head on. But government will not be everywhere and do everything at the same time, sadly and unfortunately.
So which means this one, they should just wait till when the government is ready for them.
No. What I would say, not just wait. Always make sure you take up your matters before the courts. The courts are there. The courts are there to be the arbiter of the last arbiter of the masses, of the common man. Is the place where you find hope. So if you feel intimidated, you feel your rights are being trampled upon, you feel somebody is trying to take away what is rightfully yours, what you've waited for, please seek justice from the courts. Seek justice. If you need to do petition, even the House of Assembly, a lot of people don't understand, don't know you can do that. You can petition the House of Assembly and say this is what is happening to you and all that, and I can assure you the House of Assembly will take it up. In case you don't want to go to court because you have to pay lawyers and all of that, petition the House of Assembly and your case will be. That's why the house is a people's house.
Okay, Honorable Commissioner.
Yes.
Like I used to say, I'm not alone. I have my community on Facebook,
That's
and
right.
today, self, we have even surpassed the 1 hour. But we have to hear them. Yes, I cannot just let you go like this.
All right.
We have to hear from them. You have to answer what they're asking.
Yes, sir.
Let me start with Socrates. Socrates Godwin said, "Is there any allocation for the entertainment, filmmaking, music, comedy, etc. within the state, either from your office or any government office within the state? If yes, how do we access it?" Actually, previously, the past government, I was able to notice a particular directory said for films and censorship, right? So, can you help me answer this question, please?
Beautiful. When I came into office, in the Ministry of Information and Strategy, there are basically 4 departments. We have a permanent secretary. We have the Directorate of Information, headed by the Director of Information, Director of Administration, Director of Planning and Strategy, and then Director of Finance. I had also inquired about some other things, and I found out there has been approval for the ministry to have a directorate of film and censorship. So we have that approval, but we're yet to establish that directorate. We have an approval to establish a directorate for archives, to archive all forms of activities of government, information of government, and all of that. Archiving is poorly done, I must confess to you, but that's also because you would need a lot of facilities to really archive things very, very well. But like I say, we have the permission for that question that he's asking. We have the approval to establish the Film and Censorship Directorate, and we are working towards that. There are provisions, there are requirements before you can establish that directorate, the number of staff that must be in that directorate and all of that. And we're not just trying to look for staff. I've been briefed on that, and I've discussed this with the management of the ministry. We're not just trying to just get staff, we're trying to get ably qualified staff, people who understand what we're talking about when it comes to film and censorship, because it is quite very large and very profound. So when that is established, and we hope to establish that in a couple of months from now, we're working towards it, when we meet the criteria, because this is civil service. Civil service has bureaucracy. Bureaucracy has requirements. There are things that are required of you, you must meet before you're able. It's not just like us politicians. You can wake up today and say, okay, I start this, I establish this. This is civil service. You must meet that, and then you'll be given the final approval to start it. And we're working on that. I want to assure them that is the plan of the government. But you must also give the government of His Excellency, the Right Honorable Amadou Umaru Fintri, some credit in terms of promoting the media space. It's a media-friendly government. It's an entertainment-friendly government that has promoted, opened the space, encouraged young entertainers.
While you are giving him praise on
Yes.
the section of entertainment, there were some guests that we had
Yes.
that were bitterly complaining of not being involved.
I know those kind of guests, and I'll explain to you.
Okay.
I'll explain to you. In the whole of northern Nigeria, perhaps apart from Kaduna and Jos, there is no state that does the state government crossover, where young people, and I was always the master of ceremony, even to the last one that could not hold because of security traits. But for all these years, the governor did that deliberately to give young people an avenue to ventilate, an avenue to entertain, an avenue to display their skills, their talents, and all of that. And you know what we do? I know people had complained that we used to invite people from outside and we give more credit or more respect to them. No, those are people who have perfected their act. They've perfected their talent. What we do is to bring them to challenge our own young people to also learn from them to perfect. That's why from the very beginning we'll bring all of our young people, and in all honesty, if you're going to be fair to us and to me as a person who MC this, we will come even on the night of the program. We're still taking names of people who want to go on stage, even when we shouldn't ordinarily take their names, because we'll announce to them, everybody who wants to be to be on that stage to entertain, we have a deadline on when to submit your whatever. But some people will even come that night and we'll still put them up on that stage, only because we want to encourage them, only because we want to help them ventilate, have a space also, and feel a part of it and feel like they are citizens and all of that. Apart from that, the governor always hosts the end of year gala night and dinner at the government house, where we've also taken time to get to entertain.
Actually, most of us are not aware of that.
Oh, the dinner and the gala night?
Yes.
Oh, it's strictly on invitation. That's true. It's strictly on invitation. But the entertainers will always, it's mostly about the cultural entertainment, but we've also invited the young upcoming talents, the Tino, Martino, El Casino, the Mickey, the Viper, them, and name them in that group and all of that. Michelle, that was why we raised people like Michelle, people like Nafi, and all of that. So what I am calling on them is that just keep doing what you do. Keep perfecting your act. Keep getting better at your act. And when you are good at what you do, you cannot be ignored. Nobody can ignore you. Who will find you? These boys that did Arusa. Let me give you my story with Arusa boys. I went on Facebook, and then I saw some boys. They were in one small cubicle, like a studio. They were singing Arusa, and then the light even went off, and they were, so when I saw it, I laughed. It was a beautiful song, and I asked somebody, it was Ahmed Abba. I asked him, can you find me these boys wherever? And he found them. I did not introduce these boys anywhere until one day government and the governor was having a program in the banquet hall of the government house, and I asked them to come. They came shabbily dressed. You wouldn't assume anything of them. Some of them were wearing the trouser that was for a jumper and on a t-shirt. Some of them, they were just shabby in sleepers. That was how they came into the government house. In fact, before I brought them on stage, I was a little bit apprehensive and unsure how the governor will react to that. But I say, Your Excellency, these boys are a bunch of talent as far as I'm concerned. I'm one girl among them. And I met them on Facebook. I don't know them personally, but I think they have done a good act. And today, I want to bring them before you, and I want them to... And I introduced them, and they started. The governor was sitting and was looking. I'm sure he was not sure, what is this? Then gradually, he started to loosen up. Gradually, his wife, her, the first lady, loves to smile, and she was just all laughter. And before he realized, I noticed the governor was shaking his head. And before those kids left that night, the gifts they got alone was over 1.5 million naira. That I can tell you for a fact. I'm sure some of them may probably be listening to me. Over 1.5 million naira what they got that night alone. They began to get money. We began to feature them in so many programs of government. They began to get money, began to change their costumes, their wardrobe. They began to look good, began to go places. They were going to Abuja. All of a sudden, I saw them in Abuja. I saw them in Jalingo, and they were doing well. Then all of a sudden, all hell broke loose. Those boys started fighting with themselves. Now somebody will now blame government. The government did not encourage them. I invited them on 2 different occasions. I met different levels. What's wrong with you people? Because one day we went to a program, it's a campaign program in Shelley, and the governor called me. And the governor asked me, what's happening? And why is this boy? Because all of a sudden the rest had left, only one. And then he got a new person, and only 2 of them were coming to sing. He said, what happened to them? I called them. I said, you see, the governor is also asking. One left and said he felt the other one was feeling he's the owner of the group. Everybody wanted to find money. Everybody wanted to make money and all of that. So these are some of the problems we have with our entertainers and the entertainment industry. No patience. No, just be a little bit patient. Develop your act
I'm
first.
just mute here listening to what you're saying. Before. Okay, yes. Reference to the dinner night. Okay, yeah, I can. Okay,
Yes.
that's the gala night.
Yes, that's the gala night I'm talking
But
about.
it is a beautiful program.
Yes.
Why is it that we're not aware of this gala night?
This is a yearly gala night, and this last one was the 4th in a row. This is the 4th year we're doing this gala night. We bring that's El Sax on yes,
Okay.
that's El Sax. Of course, that is your camera, the only game in town.
All right, that's beautiful.
Yes.
We can see
Yes.
more of our people on board.
Every year. This is the 4th year we had done that. Every year, and that will be before Christmas, and then the crossover concert
Okay,
at
concert.
the bridge. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. There's another question coming from Abraham Makamadan Gawono.
Oh.
He said, "Congratulations, Honorable Commissioner."
Abraham
That's the
is
first set.
sending from Canada. I know him.
Oh, that's nice. For those of us who are not residents in Yola or Adamawa State, we have been following and appreciating the efforts of the Governor Fintri's administration. The numerous development projects undertaken across the state have brought Adamawa into the spotlight, and we are proud of these achievements as citizens of the state. However,
However,
yes,
I like the however.
yes, with less than 1 year remaining in the administration's tenure, what assurance can the government provide that the ongoing projects will be completed before the end of Governor Fintri's administration? Even I had that in mind.
Thank you.
And thank God Abraham asked the same question.
Thank you, Abraham. I hope you're doing well in Canada with your wife and family. Good question. Good question. Great question. We've known the person and the pedigree of His Excellency, the Right Honorable Amadou Umaru Fintri, when it comes to projects. He is not called the projects master for no reason. There must be a reason why they call him the projects master. There must be a reason why they call him the architect and builder of the new Adamawa of our dreams. The man does not start a project and leaves it uncompleted. That is an assurance I can bet. You can take it to the bank, that assurance I'm giving. In fact, it is the culture of His Excellency, the Right Honorable Amadou Umaru Fintri, to award a contract and have a time limit to that contract. Let me tell you about the stadium contract that we went to today. He remembered everything, and he told the contractors. He had ordered the contractor to appear before him immediately. He said this contract is supposed to be handed over this June by the terms of the contract. Now, he was even reminded by the Honorable Commissioner of Youth and Sports, who told him, no, we actually later expanded the contract for them. We added other parts of the contract, and that also gave them an additional 5 months for completion. Maybe that is why they're working within. But the governor still insisted the contractor must come and tell him when this stadium will be finished and handed over. That is the kind of man he is. He does not give a contract without the time limit on which contract must be completed and handed over. So I can assure you for free that these contracts will be done. All of these contracts, this government will not leave an unfinished contract.
Okay.
It will not leave an uncompleted contract.
Though the time is not on our side,
Yes,
you are
sir.
talking about the project master of projects and
Yes.
also the bank road has no pedestrian bridge. Let me use that term.
Yeah.
No pedestrian bridge,
Yeah.
and the citizens have been criticizing the government or the on that.
Yes.
What is the plan? Because the truth is that lane, based on the information we received, have taken lives.
That's true.
Have taken lives.
That's true.
Yesterday I was passing through that lane. I saw a pregnant woman trying to cross that what the barricades. I felt, but in my mind, I was like, how can she do it? I wanted to even drop from the keke that I was riding in, so that we can support her to carry her up and take her to the other lane.
That's right.
But apart from her, at least she can cross. What about the other people that cannot cross? Okay. What is the plan of the government towards this?
You know, the original contract, when government gave that contract, was to construct 2 flyovers, one at the police roundabout and the other at the market junction. So when those flyovers were constructed at first, there was adequate plan. There was adequate understanding of what it was going to take. And so pedestrian bridges were made, one at the Capital School, one close to what was formerly Gate 3, and then one close to the police barracks. Later, that other interchange underground idea came, which also expanded and opened the bank road. You could see that the bank road has become such that so that there is no, because of the busy nature of that commercial road, so there will be no crossing anyhow. It's been closed. Anybody who is coming from the Newman Road, let's say, and wants to go to the market and wants to go with a vehicle through Gate 2 will have to come all the way to Bekaji roundabout and make a turn before he goes there. It is deliberate to reduce all this crossing, because you must remember it's been opened to 8 lanes. 8 lanes is very, very wide, and because of the wideness of the road, people, younger people, pregnant women, like you say, and older people who may not be able to cross in the kind of haste, and in fact crossing in a haste is also dangerous on the road. You may fall and all of that. Government decided that entire place should be barricaded. Everybody who wants to go to that other end should take the pen, if that is a pain. But
that is a serious pain.
Yes, but that is a safer way to do it. The pain of taking a KK that can take you around. If you're on this lane, the GT Bank lane, for example, First Bank and all of the Zenith Bank, you should be able, if you want to cross the other place, you should be able to take the pain of using KK to go around to the other place. I don't know if a pedestrian bridge will be constructed eventually on that lane, on that part of the road. The Ministry of Works, I have not confirmed that with them. But for now, I also don't like the way people cross it. Even with the barricade, people are breaking the fence barricade.
We are looking at these people. The life in Nigeria now is not something that we should be proud of. Let's put it this way.
But life is more important than anything else.
Yes, what I'm saying is the cost of living is high. If KK people, if they are carrying you from, let's say, Karewa to Bank Road, it charge you around 300, 400 naira. For them to go around again and come, it will cost you like 700 naira. Or let's say 600 naira. So you see, people are trying to manage the little resources they have.
I appreciate that. But if I will risk my life, I would rather take the next 10, 15 minutes to take a walk around and just save myself than making that cross. So that crossover that becomes dangerous.
So let's assume this person is a civil servant, and he takes this walk, go around to reach the bank. He is tired already, and he was to just finish a small errand in the bank and decide to go back to office and complete this work.
He has only exercised. He has only
exercised. You call that exercise, sir?
And that is good for your heart rate.
You call this exercise? No, the truth, based on the facts, actually.
No, but on a serious note, I think the risks of crossing far overweighs the trouble of making a round or paying 200 naira for KK to make you and turn you around to go. I think the time is not on our side. We'll have to invite you someday for this topic alone. All right.
So I'll on this, I still want to go to my Facebook people. Okay. Even though these ones are trying to compliment you, they say what a learned man. That is Gideon Elkanah. He said, what a learned man, full of potential. Just a compliment. I love your good command in English, sir.
Thank you.
That's from Gideon. Then Gaius Sunday Jakes. We should have this man as a governor of Adamawa State sometime in the future.
Oh, wow.
Yes, this is Gaius Sunday Jakes saying. So which means he is impressed by what you said.
Thank you.
There's the last one. I don't know what. Okay, he said, that is TJ Isaac Bazaar. He said, kindly assist me with the commissioner's OPay account. let me send 2K for him
That's
to
a
buy
nice one.
coke. So you can see the kind of comments coming from them.
Thank you.
Honorable Commissioner, we are glad to have you,
Thank you,
on
Mike.
our podcast.
Thank you, Mike.
And I hope next time if we invite you to continue from where we stop, you give us that
I'll
opportunity
be
again.
most obliged. It will be an honor for me to come.
All right.
You guys are my friends, and I am honored that you taught me worthy to be on your show. I have high regards and respects for this show. I've followed your show. I've seen quite a number of the presentations and the people. I celebrate you, the careful manner you chose your people who came on this show, and all that also tells a lot about the seriousness of what you're doing. And I have nothing but best wishes for you.
Thank you very much,
my
sir.
good prayers that you will continue to move higher and higher. It can only get better.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Back to you, my people. You have heard from the Honorable Commissioner for Information and Strategy in Adamawa State, Barrister Leader Leneke. We hope to bring him next time. But for now, kindly make sure that you have watched this video. If you arrived late, you are not yet late. You can still rewatch the video. Share the video to your friends and families and even your enemies, like I used to say. Don't forget to follow, because that follow is very important. That is where you have notifications of all our events that will be coming up. The Gazette News Nigeria is still available. Follow the Gazette News Nigeria for the latest updates, more especially updates coming from the government and other sectors of society. From now henceforth, I'll be bringing you more hot informations, more especially issues that affect us within the states. Before the commissioner goes home, I used to make a request online, and since he's here today, I will just make the request directly to him. Please, I want you to help me carry this information to the governor.
Correct.
If possible, he should make it an executive order.
Okay.
That all these drainages that have been built, well constructed, he should enforce it that every household that drainage passes through should fetch out all the trash in that drainages. All these people constructing houses that are putting sand inside that place, they should remove it, because flooding is not a friendly thing.
That's true.
The next flooding that will be coming will be much more dangerous. Please, he should take action. Why I'm saying this, because the questions I asked earlier on was, do you people accept criticism? I've been mentioning this on my podcast, not once, not twice. But because I'm concerned, I'm also a climate advocate. So I'm much more concerned about the health and the lives of our people and their properties.
Thank you very much. I can assure you, during the council meeting where I was, my first council meeting with them, in fact, this issue was raised. This issue, we are anticipating the rainy season and the possibility of another downpour that might cause the flooding and all that. And one of the things that the Ministry of Environment has been instructed to do, and the Ministry of Information is also on that, is to create the necessary awareness, enlightenment that will enlighten the people. We said these are avoidable things, situations. So just like you rightly mentioned, government has constructed drainage. Mike, you'll be surprised to find out that some people, those drainages are their dust, their dump
Exactly.
sites. That's why they come to dump their waste.
I went to about 3 different places. You know, I used to go around.
Yes.
I was in a Yulde party. I was terribly sad. They already covered the place, and also sand. Actually, you know, when the flood is coming, it comes with sand. So some of the drainages are filled with sand, more especially within Karewa.
That's true.
Yes.
So
some of them plants have already grown inside the drainages.
True. That's true.
So please, let it be an executive order so that there will be enforcement.
We're glad, as a government, on behalf of government, we're glad to have people like you and your medium where you're also using and taking the opportunity to bring about the enlightenment, desensitization that people need to know on issues like this. If all of us play our part, everybody plays a role as small as you can, as much as possible, it will save a lot. It will save us quite much, and we will all be better for it. We'll all be glad that we did.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. And for you, my people, good night.